Hey, what's up, party people?
Hi.
I hope you guys are having a great time. I know Dinda is. She's having a great time right
Come
now.
on.
This is not like our third start or something like that.
Okay.
Well, hey, what's up? My name is Youre, and we have... we have...
Dinda.
And...
Nick,
Looking so good right now. Look at him.
follow my TikTok.
Yeah, well, I hope you guys have been well. I mean, we honestly see each other quite often.
We really
It's kind of
do.
interesting,
We
isn't
really
it? Because we kind of like wear different hats. It's kind of like what you're just talking about just then, Nick, about being dual personalities. It's like we're just like a
Literally.
different person here and then another person, here.
here.
You know, now we're content creators. On any other given day, we're like youth leaders or something like that. Isn't
That
it
is
crazy?
true.
Yeah.
We
but
wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. This is like the fourth time we meet this week, is it?
the fourth time?
Sunday. Tuesday? Tuesday?
Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday, Tuesday.
Thursday.
Yesterday. Thursday?
We had
Thursday.
dinner.
Are you
and
freaking serious?
So it's fifth. It's the fifth
Holy
time this week.
crap. We've
How-
seen each other every day
how-
this week.
How are we
That
not
is
sick of each
wild.
other yet?
But the thing is that they're all different reasons. It's not like
That
we're
is
hanging out
true.
Different
casually.
hats, right? Different hats
Yeah.
every
That
time we
is
meet up.
true. Holy crap.
Like the Thursday thing was we actually hung out as friends.
That is true.
That is true.
Every other times, like there's a reason why we hang out.
absolutely.
We're actually doing something. We're not really hanging out, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy because I don't know if I should ask you guys how you guys are going because I already know, you know. But well, this week we also surprised Nick. So when this comes out, it's probably way past Nick's birthday. But
Yeah.
yes, we surprised Nick this
Mhm.
week. We cut out a lot of pictures of Nick and put them on his wall. Do you
I
still
actually
have?
didn't even recognize that.
You didn't?
I did not recognize that.
It was Nick's healthy hair stage. I mean, not that his hair's not healthy now, but it was like
Dude,
luscious.
his whole face was covered in hair. Like, it was more hair than
Okay,
face.
how old
like,
were you, Nick, in that picture?
15, 14.
15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. If you
Crazy.
guys used to play
Sweet
Maple Story,
baby.
there's this haircut called metrosexual.
What?
No, yeah.
It's actually called the
It's actually
metrosexual
haircut's
haircut.
called metrosexual, and then
Oh,
that was
for
literally
real?
the haircut that Nick had in high school.
Oh, God.
It wasn't even a haircut; he just grew his hair.
Yeah, because I
Really?
didn't cut my hair.
Like you cut it like once, and that was like year 11, year 12, right?
Yeah.
I thought it's an
Oh my
emo
God.
hairstyle like that.
Yes,
Whoa.
that's right. It is. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it kind of is, but I wasn't
Where are
really.
you? That was literally like Nick's hair. But that was a phase we were in, right? That we were
Oh
listening to
my
rock,
God.
Yeah.
alternative rock. That was
Blink
kind of the
182.
vibe. Exactly. Which I don't know if you've
Boys Like
experienced that.
Girls.
Everyone.
Absolutely not.
I mean, we're not like generations apart, but like maybe a good five
Dude,
years.
I did high school listening to like Five Sauce and One Direction.
Five sauce? Oh, dude, that's crazy, man.
Five
To me, they're
Sauce.
new.
Yeah, you got
Like, that's old.
mustard, ketchup, barbecue, mayo, and chipotle. The 5 sauce, bro.
This guy. Yeah.
What in the world?
It's crazy.
So
though.
lame. Oh my God.
Why am I laughing right now?
Yeah, why are you
you're
laughing at
enjoying
this?
You're enjoying it.
It's because
so
you are also
lame.
old like me.
Shush.
It's a mentality. It's
Yeah.
a mentality, guys. I'm gonna sit up now, or else I get tired. I'm kidding. I had squats today. I told you this. Right.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's
I
crazy,
actually
right?
relate to that though. I have to say I probably not get tired. I get winded as well.
Bro, you know what? It's actually funny because
Oh my
as I got
God.
older, right, my laugh changed. I don't know about you, but do you feel like your laugh?
Yeah, I feel I'm
changed?
getting the uncle laugh.
Huh?
The uncle laugh.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Bro.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly,
coming
bro.
from the stomach,
Yeah.
right?
What?
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like it just you experience it when you get there.
Okay.
I mean, you already like your laugh now is already it sounds mature. Does that make
What
sense?
does that even mean, Tyra?
Bro, I like kids have their giggles, right? And then adults have their own laughter. You know what I mean? Like,
So I grew out of my giggle.
yeah, you
Can
have
we
a
have a
cackle
poll,
now.
guys?
See, she cackles as well. So,
No, she doesn't even cackle. She wheezes. She goes,
Does she need help?
quick, go help me.
Oh, she called the ambulance.
She becomes a seal.
That's
I
really
realized that
well
when
done,
like
well
I
done, yeah.
rewatched like all the BTS
Oh
that we
my
did for your
God.
surprise, and I'm like, did I actually laugh like that?
Yes,
and
you
Ethan
did.
actually made a very good impersonation.
Yeah, he's good at that though. He's good at picking up your flaws and
God.
using that against you. Eh?
That's crazy.
Picking you apart.
Yeah, Nick,
Oh
Nick's
my
mostly the
gosh.
receiving end of that as well, but
God.
now he has you, Dinda.
That
Yeah,
is
when they
AKA
can't be
Linda.
you, they hate you.
Linda.
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 Yeah. So Nick, tell us how old you are now. if you're comfortable. This is a safe space though.
I'm
The
27.
fact that he has to say if you're comfortable is just shocking.
I'm 27.
Hey, you know what? It is a thing though. Tinder, how easy was it for you to realize that you're 27 and you're like, I'm 27? Was it easy?
Not really.
No, right?
No,
It's
it was like surreal.
yeah, it's
Especially
surreal.
with COVID, I feel like
You missed out a lot.
yeah, we kind of like missed out like on some things. But
Really?
I don't
Yeah,
feel like
kind of.
27.
Yeah,
Like
kind
what?
of.
Honestly, like I don't feel like 27 right now.
Really?
I
I definitely
agree.
feel 27. I
Your
woke
back-
up in
because
the
of your back
mentality,
pain.
Nick.
I woke up in the morning, my
Come on,
back
man.
actually hurts, and then my arms were sore.
Okay, there's the two. I feel like it's a different thing though with physical feeling and just like life stuff.
Well,
Okay.
life also
Being
feels very
27.
old right now.
Let
Yeah.
her speak.
Bro, you gotta wake
Okay.
up every morning, look in the mirror, and do this.
I hate that. I hate that.
It's a mentality,
I cannot do
man.
it.
He's
No,
not
that's-
wrong about that.
No, that's third place mentality.
Oh,
But yeah,
damn.
I agree with Dinner though. I feel like once I turned 25, and that was around the COVID time as well.
Yeah.
I kind of
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
that would've been-
I just feel 25. Now I'm just 25.
What?
Like when
Time
people
flies.
ask me like how
Yeah.
old I am, I forget, bro. I'm like, oh no, I'm 27 now.
Oh my god.
Turning 28 this year.
Yeah, don't.
Dang.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
crazy.
God.
It's crazy.
Dang, it's
Oh
crazy.
my God.
Honestly,
It's
what's
actually
keeping me
crazy.
young is just being around kids all the time. I'm worried about what happens when I leave all that. You know,
Mm,
I'm just gonna
It's just downhill from there.
just change my style. I mean, we were talking about fashion just before we started, and
Yeah.
I was thinking about like recently a lot about what I want to look like in the future in terms of like what I want to dress like.
mm.
I'm moving more towards like workwear looking, like Japanese workwear.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm like
Muji kind of vibe.
they're like
I like
kind of
that.
getting away from the skater look, but like that look will be kind of my casual. And then
You did rock that look though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still present right now, so
That is true.
I'm still present. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, you know, with wine, it gets better as it gets older, right? I feel like I'm looking forward to the 30s. I know Nick isn't.
Same.
I know Nick isn't,
Me
but
too.
I feel like that's gonna be the prime. And then the reason why I say that, and I have a follow-up question to that actually, which is Nick, since you're 27 now, for the past 7 years or so, what do you think your 20s was about? Like, what do you think from 20 to 27? What was that period of your life for? What do you reckon? I know it's kind of deep all of a sudden, but
Now I realized how much time I wasted,
What? Really?
and I was like such a bum. Because I woke up when I was 27 after like, you know, year one like destroyed my sleep trying to shock me awake. Like she surprised me by coming to my house in the morning when I was in a nice, good sleep, and she was like, wake up.
Tell him what time that was. Tell him what time that was.
11:30.
bruh,
11:30.
But things that it's my birthday. Every other day I wake up at 7,
Okay.
you know?
And
Yeah,
I
it's
did
my
not
birthday.
kick your door down. I was
No, that
like,
wasn't the door. That was my body.
I did not do that. Anyway,
She
continue.
sumo slammed me awake. I was in shock. But anyways, so as I was so on that day itself, after I went home at night, before I slept, I reflected, as old people do, and I was like, "What did I do in my last 27 years?" Because when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is crazy. I used to never think about dying.
Oh, facts.
Facts, right?
Yeah.
But then now, because I'm closer to, you know, old age, I actually think about, you know, oh poo, you know, like, what if I died? Did I do anything that I wanted and everything I wanted when I was younger?
Yeah.
No, because when I was younger, I felt like I had as much time in the world. But now, as I get closer to that, I'm like, I got no time in the world.
Yep.
But then I'm already too late now because I'm at a stage where I'm worrying about buying a house, getting a car, getting a Rolex, like all these things, right? That I want to do.
Important things.
I want to
Oh,
travel.
God.
I want to experience the world. I want to do so many crazy stuff. But I'm like, I can't now because all these things require a lot of money or time that I need to take to do it. Which, if I just got my crap together when I was younger, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
But then I just spend it playing FIFA and bumming around, you know? Which was cool at the time. But then now I'm like, if
So
only
does
I
that
just...
mean you're going to quit FIFA?
No, it's too late for that, so I'm just going to
Okay.
continue, you know?
You gotta follow it through. You
Like
know?
already,
You
yeah,
can't just
already-
quit
This man-
halfway.
Yeah, exactly. I've been playing it since 2012, bro.
Yeah, man. Wow,
it's a
look at that.
commitment, it's a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go on me, quit FIFA, then I might as well quit
Speechless.
liking football altogether. Because
Yeah.
what's the point, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fake fan. you know?
bro. So I
This
cannot
is
do
why
that.
people call you a drama queen. This is why people
But
call you a
this is
drama
exactly the reason why it's fun to have him around as well.
queen. Oh.
But this is what
I'll
it's
pay
like
that.
being
I'll
old.
pay that.
But anyway, so I just feel like in the last 7 years, I don't know, it's just reflecting that I waste my time, and I'm like, I gotta make the use of whatever time I have left, maybe short, long, whatever. But then every time I get there, I'm like, I'm already, it's too late.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's just a lot of confusion
For
in
real.
the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Hope that answers.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I actually really reciprocate to how you feel. Like, there's a lot of times where you,
Really?
I mean, like certain things. I have to always tell
Yeah.
myself, like, oh, time is relative, or like,
Mm.
like you can still, is a mentality thing. But you always do sink into that feeling that I could have done way more in my 20s, like my early 20s. Like, I could have maybe traveled more and like should have taken like advantage of that, work more so I can travel more and like do certain things like, I don't know, start early with a sport and stick with it. Because now that when you're 28, it's kind of like, oh, I can't really start and expect myself to be competitive. You know what I mean? Because I'm just not there anymore. Because there's also other priorities, like Nick talked about, saving up for a house
Like
and stuff like that.
realistically,
Yeah, you know, like you got to start thinking a certain way. And some may argue that you don't have to think that way, you know. But then sometimes, you know, you just kind of, you're not sure where to go. So in a way, like I also feel like I've wasted my early portion of my 20s. Like literally the first year out of high school, I played games every day. Bro, I played so many games. It was bad. So bad. I look back at myself. I should have done something better with my life.
Like as in like your ass was stuck to the chair?
Swamp
like,
ass, all that.
Oh,
Wow.
damn.
But look,
Only on summer though. Only
I
in
will
summer.
say this one thing though. It did foster good relationships through that in a way. Actually, I made a really good friend out of
yeah.
that. So if there was one positive out of the whole season of me gaming from like morning to night, I sleep for like 4 hours. I wake up again and I'm on the grind again. Is that crazy? Like,
That's wild, man.
yeah, and it was a gap year, and I used that for like, don't do that. I mean, like, it was an experience, and like, there were some really good gamer moments, right? But
Yeah.
I wish that I was more productive in that time. But
Right.
I guess where it is, like, you can't really cling onto the past. You just have to like start where you are now and make sure that where you are later, you can look back on this time now and be like, oh yeah, like I actually did pretty good. I did what I had to do, and you know what I mean. So yeah, I totally relate with that. It's always creeping on you, hey, and death.
Just what?
Well, I mean, okay, not as often, man. But like,
Yeah.
you do think about it. Like, you're like,
I do think about it.
you're like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't like, you gotta be like, oh man,
Even
like,
sometimes I feel like we really have no guarantee, especially maybe because like when I was exposed to COVID and actually
Yeah.
like had like one of my colleagues like passed away and he's only like 2 years older than me. Like we
Oh,
actually
dang.
like party together and all that. It was like
it's a
like
shock, hey?
crazy like shock realization of like you actually don't know.
Like
Yeah.
life is
Like,
fragile.
Yeah, life
Yeah.
is like really fragile. And
For
sometimes
real.
I think like, oh yeah, like what if I don't have that much time and
Mm.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Because literally, like when you're a teenager to like early 20s, you don't think about that
Yeah.
stuff. You
It's,
feel
like,
invincible,
so far.
I
right?
mean, kind of.
Like more or less, you don't really think about it that much. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm just like gonna try to do the best I can and try to be an entrepreneur by 21. You know, it's like that's kind of like the general thing, and that's why as like us as 27-year-olds, right, we're thinking about that. Like, oh man, people have started like being more successful at a younger age. It's like, what was I doing when I was 21? You know, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
But like, you know what? People tell me like, oh, like you're still young. Don't worry about it. You know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, a real fear of mine is when people stop telling me that.
Mm.
When people stop telling you like, hey, you're still young. When they don't say that
Damn,
anymore.
I feel, yeah.
But I reckon
Damn, I
that
never thought about it.
I
like
reckon that won't happen until like 35. I reckon. I think 35 is when people will start stopping that. Like, unless
Yeah.
they're way older than you, they're gonna be like, they're not gonna say that anymore. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Dinda? Like, what are your thoughts on like your
Mm.
early 20s? I mean, from knowing you, you've done quite a lot in your 20s. Like,
Dude, you have done
you've done
the
a lot.
most.
So you're like kind of like the opposite to like Nick and myself.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
it's just,
not
yeah.
that Nick and
Yeah.
myself are not that accomplished. You know, we spent a lot of our time in the church as well. But like
Yeah,
for yourself,
absolutely.
you were in the marketplace and you traveled a lot and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think it's context is like I kind of started working when I was 19 because I had like a financial crisis going on in the family and I had to go back home. So initially that kind of like, first of all, I'm such a planner that I didn't actually expect that to happen in my life. So even when I was 19 going 20, 21, it was like very confusing time altogether because I was trying to find myself. Because then in my mind, like back home, like, oh, what am I gonna offer to the marketplace? Like,
Yeah.
oh, is there someone actually wants to hire like a 19 years old without a degree kind of thing? So for me, like I was kind of forced to like really expand my network and like really expand that. Like basically, I applied to like jobs or internships and stuff like that, and whatever that I got, I just took it. Like because I basically needed it for me to like move on in life.
Yeah.
So I guess my early 20s, like even though it was like painful in some ways, I mean like I was lonely because then my uni friends are like back in Melbourne, and my friends were like basically spread around the globe because they were all like in uni and like, have their own season all together. But I kind of I feel like I'm grateful for that experience because then I actually did things that I would never do. Like I would never think,
Yeah.
oh, I can actually do that. Like I can actually like work in a bank in a total like in a division that I never had experienced before, like risk, what was it? Due diligence and all these like business stuff that I'm like, oh, I actually can do that
Yeah.
if I actually have the willingness. Like and I don't like make myself feel small because I think in that time we're so fixated on like labels or like, oh, what like major do you take, and like, oh, it's not related, like those things in uni, like it was such a big deal, at least back home, like in Indonesia it's like, oh, it's not really related, or like what are you doing with your like life and all that. But yeah, like I kind of like went to like 3 different industries, like even social media like back then was not in the plan for me. Like I worked to help brands for their Instagram and all that, and Instagram was still like it was just
A new
it was
platform,
just like like when they only have the filters, like original filters, and like
Oh God.
it was like ages ago. This was like 2014, 2015. But
Oh God.
yeah, I guess my
Wow.
20s was like, it was spent more like to actually know, like to explore outside the bubble, to explore things and people outside the bubble.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I got to know people from different like different events, and like I guess what I'm glad that I did was like I volunteered in a lot of like events from like film festival in Melbourne. I got to host like one of like the radio stations once.
Damn.
And like there's a time that my siblings sent me like, oh, you should just do this like program, like a conference in Sydney for like digital Asian, no, not Asian, like ASEAN and Australia. They're trying to like get the people like connect with each other. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna apply and see. And they sponsored me to go to Sydney for 3 days.
Oh my
We went to
gosh.
like Facebook HQ for like workshops. Like I actually won with like a group that I was with, poetry slam.
Oh, have you done that?
Yeah, I've done that.
What?
You actually done it?
Actually, like, but I don't know if they still have the documentaries. Yeah, and like our team won
Wait, so you were
We
on stage doing
poetry slam.
poetry slam?
Yeah, and we
Like the
literally
21 Jump Street, like
Yeah.
slam,
Slam.
poetry.
It's like Cynthia, like Cynthia
Like,
is
yeah, like-
dead. Beep
yeah,
beep boop.
yeah, like
dead.
literally, like
Wait,
yeah,
do you remember
performing arts.
what you had to say on stage?
I don't remember now. 'cause
Oh,
it's,
come
like,
on.
literally so
like,
shocked.
Like,
Boo.
but there's like I'm not sure if the video is still there, but like
Alright.
literally, like my brother found like an Insta story from the account and posted. I'm like, what? Like I don't even know that they were like filming us.
Yeah.
But we had to perform in like one of the like government not prime minister, but like one of the higher
Government
up government,
houses.
because it was like a
Crazy.
legit event.
Imagine
between,
doing
like, us and-
poetry in the
Poetry slam.
government.
Damn.
Yeah, but like like going to that Facebook HQ in Sydney was so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did that like before 25 and all.
That's
yeah, so
crazy.
it's just like yeah, like actually going out there. I think like my early 20s, literally like I just, even though like it was so tiring because like after work I would just go hang with some people or like go to friends event, but I'm glad I did it all because I
Yeah.
literally met lots of people that are just like open not just doors but like perspectives and
Yeah.
like things that I would never, oh, like this stuff exists, I didn't
Yeah.
know that, like
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
crazy because every time I post you on my Instagram, somebody from somewhere is like, oh my God, is that a Dinda? And I'm like, how do you know her? How do you know her? And then
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, we met at some random like house party or something. I'm like, what?
What? Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows you. Like you
Nah,
know
okay.
literally half of
But can I ask a question though? You
Yeah.
mentioned that you are a big planner. So what did you actually plan your 20s to be like?
Ooh.
Because obviously this
Question,
was
yeah.
because obviously this
Good
was
question.
not what you planned, right? It's just
Yeah,
you
not
going
at
with the
all.
flow.
Right.
Yeah.
So then if you had your ideal, like you actually planned for your 20s, what did it actually look like?
Yep. So my plan was, so I was in Melbourne. My major was psychology and sociology, and my plan was actually to stay in Melbourne for a bit, like to actually, I want to have a job in Melbourne after I graduate there, in like, not maybe education, but something that to do with psychology,
Yeah.
and then I want to bring something back home. So this was like the idealistic in me. Like I want to like have an impact in Jakarta, whether it's like a startup on mental health or like help people to like build something that's
Right.
basically related to mental health and youth and all that. So yeah, that was like my plan. Even though like it was not really clear, like really specific, but I know that oh yeah, I want to be in Melbourne for about like 5 years after I graduate and then come back home to make like more significant or like bolder move.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Something like that. It was very
Nice.
like
Dang.
Do you picture like a family or like, getting married by a certain age, that kind of level of planning?
to be honest, not really, because I feel like it was more like, oh, the family will come as I do that kind of thing. I mean, obviously,
Interesting.
actually, I think I told someone about this, like one of you guys. I thought by 27, I would actually like at least got married. Not to have kids, but got married. It was like the
Damn.
ideal age.
That's the same
when
for
I
me,
was,
though, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
when
That
I was in
is-
high school or like when I was like year 9, year 10. Oh, like when we like talk about like, oh
Oh my
like,
god,
yeah,
I
like,
want to get
oh,
married
when do you want to get
at
married?
this
I'm like
age and have a
27.
first kid.
27 is a good age.
Yeah, it is.
Because you
I
still
feel like
like
it's a great
you still
age,
have,
yeah.
what I thought was like, oh, I still would have the energy to like
Do things, go
do
travel
things,
and stuff.
travel.
Yeah.
Because I in my mind it's like, oh, I really want to travel with my partner first before we have kids and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
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 So
Damn.
with your plan, like like bringing something back to Jakarta, is that still the plan? Because I remember our conversation with Simba, right? He talked about that actually. He talked about coming here, like his plan doesn't end here. He's going back to Africa, right, to do his thing, to be the
damn.
president of
I
Zimbabwe,
remember,
right?
yeah.
So is that still something for you? Like, is that still like I want to go back to Jakarta and I want to make a difference, or has that changed?
In terms of like, I think it has changed in some ways. It's more like, you know what? I do know, like, I want to make an impact, but how it looks like, I don't have this like
Specific image.
specific image or like that drive, not the drive, but more like I'm not too narrowed now
Yeah,
on
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
it has to be
Mm,
in Indonesia, it has to be
You're more
a
open,
startup. Like
Yeah,
I'm more
yeah.
open
but
to
the
like
vision's still there.
yeah,
Okay.
the
Yes.
vision's
Yeah.
still there to like, oh, I actually want to contribute to like the mental health space or like financial literacy for the youth
Yeah.
or like stuff like that. Like there are these areas that I want to like contribute on.
Yeah.
And like women as well, but like how it looks like and like the methods and like when it's more like, you know what, God, I laid it out down to you. Like
Yeah.
it's more like,
Yeah.
it's more like that. But yeah, I guess
That's
like
cool.
involved in like because early 20s, that's when we actually have so much energy. Sometimes I look back and I don't know how I did it all. Like even like
Facts.
serving in like
Yeah.
back home, I served in a church when we had like 4 services, and that's just the adult service.
Crazy.
But we also had 2 services for the youth on Sunday. So I would
Look
be,
at
Bro.
Nick's face.
I would be yeah.
We
Guys,
barely
ready for
fit
bed.
we barely go through hour 1 right now, I'm like
Yeah.
barely making it.
Yeah.
Like so I would be at church, for example, at 8 a.m. 8:30, I would go for my like service, my own service where I just sit down, and then 9:45 pre-service for the first service for youth, done. 11:30 the second service for youth, done. Lunch with people and all that, and then went home. And sometimes I would go back for the 4th service because like some people would like, oh, I want to check out your church and blah blah blah, and then I would accompany them, like sit with them in that service.
But did you not at any point feel burnt out?
Oh, I did.
So she was like all
that's
the
another
time.
topic.
Yeah, that's another
yeah.
topic.
Not all the time. So I think mid-20s, that's when I experienced what burnout is.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
But early 20s, I still, it was like, I was happy, like with like all the things that I did
Yeah.
back then. Like it was tiring, but
Yeah.
I feel that satisfaction of like
right.
I am actually like I love life
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
I get that. Like,
Yeah,
I think Nick and I can agree on that feeling when we were serving in youth at that age as well. Like it was just different. Where that energy come from, right?
Yeah, sometimes like
Yeah.
All
Where
the
did the
all
energy come
nighters,
from?
everything.
Oh, I can't do that no more, bro. 1
Yeah.
o'clock, I'm in bed, bro.
1 o'clock, bro. 9 p.m.
Bro,
I'm
as soon
in
as the
bed, bro.
service, like the end prayer or dismiss, I'm gone, bro. I'm not fellowshipping anymore, bro. I'm out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
You guys are
okay.
low-key scaring me.
No, okay, look. We're exaggerating. Okay,
A bit.
partially.
Yeah.
I mean, if
little
we wanted
bit.
to, we could, but I just prefer to have my 8 hours of sleep nowadays. I just want it. I need it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but
Mm.
that's just
Okay.
me. Anyways, but yeah, Dinda, like for you to summarize your 20s, your early 20s, because a lot happened, right?
Mhm.
What would you say you felt your 20s was for? I mean, your early 20s, anyways, leading up to where you are now.
I feel like it's more like to not 20s is a time when you just don't limit yourself in terms of like trying to actually see what are the things that you like. And then also one of the things that I also feel like it's important is like it's okay to not have things figured out. Like it's okay to not know things, because it's when you like it's the time when you can actually have the energy and the time to learn things and to meet people,
Yeah.
people like as much as people like you can.
Mm.
You don't have to be friends with all of them. It's just to meet
Yeah.
people so that you know like, oh, there are these things that is going on in the world. Like
Yeah.
and you actually get to explore things. And from that experience, I also feel like that experience made me like know myself better, like what are my strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Even though like, when we go to interviews, we kind of like have that kind of like scripted up, but I actually like believe that it is important for your day-to-day kind of life, because then you don't
Dang.
punish yourself when like things don't go the way you want it to be, or like you don't become the person that you have in mind. Like having to know your strengths and weaknesses like kind of builds your confidence in some ways as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Like we're not meant to be perfect and to be
No.
good at everything.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I second that. Like, I think people confuse your teenage years as you discovering yourself. I feel like that's too short of a time to discover yourself.
Correct.
That really goes onto your 30, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like that time frame,
Yeah.
which we're still in, like we're talking about, like, again, I bring it up, like our fashion sense will change again until
Yep.
until 30, and then it'll be set for life. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. Okay, I'm just saying.
Right,
I'm just
right.
saying that, like, look, like Nick's already like talking about Daniel Simmons, right, and how he's like getting his influence from him. Before, it was probably someone else, wasn't it, Nick? It was some other guy. I don't know. I'm just saying. But like, it's just the same. Like, well, I just talked about moving into something else. Like, you're still discovering yourself and what you're good at, what your strengths are, and like, thinking about those things. I feel like that continues until 30. That's why I think. Anyways,
I
not
hope
there
so.
yet. Couldn't tell you, but when we get there, we get there. But now this is very interesting because one is still in her early 20s.
Woo!
23.
Oh my god.
23.
Not yet.
Not even 23
No,
yet.
I'm not
bro.
even
That's crazy.
23
Sometimes I
yet.
forget that Youre is that young,
Yeah,
because I don't feel like that
Same. I feel
in a
like
good way.
but that's because you hang around like older people. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
just
feel like
maturity
that
level,
is.
and like I guess just as your background as
Yeah.
well and your family, like
Maybe.
just
And you have
older sister.
A big energy, like big sis energy.
Yeah.
Really?
That's facts
I don't
actually.
know.
Big
Yeah.
sis or mom, I don't know, but
mom energy.
yeah.
I get that a lot. I don't know why people keep telling me I have mom energy.
Yeah, no, it's there.
Yeah.
But like as you start out and you're still there, basically, just getting started. Really, 21 was not long
God.
ago. So
Oh
tell,
my god.
That is crazy.
so tell us like what are you feeling about your 20s? Like, do you agree with what we're saying here? I mean, because you're
Yeah.
in the period that Nick and I said that we felt like we wasted.
Yeah.
Take away the ministry side, I think we did really well. I
Oh,
mean,
you guys smashed it
not
out of
to
the
discredit
park
us, Nick,
with
like,
ministry. Yeah.
bless up, God was there
Yeah.
using us in our ministry.
Let's
but,
not discount that.
But I mean, outside of ministry, maybe I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, this guy had a good job. I know that he still has a good job now. Anyways,
yeah.
back to you. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts. It's actually really interesting for what they've had to say. I don't know. I feel like my 20s, like even when I turned 22, I don't know why I freaked out. I freaked out when I turned 22 because I was like, oh my God, I'm actually not in that age where I can make mistakes anymore. and like people are like, "Oh, you're fine, you're young."
That's big, girl.
That is
Yeah, like
20.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like actually early 20s are the best time to make. Okay, not
Make
to advocate, like
But to
make
try,
mistakes.
but to
Yeah.
try new things.
Yeah, but like but early 20s are the time when you have lots of years to recover from your mistakes.
Absolutely.
Really?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I freaked out because it's like, oh, like you turned 21. 21's a big 21, right?
Mm.
And then I was like, oh crap, I'm not 21 anymore. I'm not 18 anymore. I'm not 21 anymore. I'm 22. It's like,
Yeah.
holy crap. If I screw up now, it's like, I can't blame it on my young age and naive brain. I'm like, that was my fault. You know?
Question, like, what do you think shaped that kind of mindset? Like, what do you think made you feel that way? Was it more like people around you, or was it more like social media? Because I know that nowadays there's so much pressure, like, you know, like 20 under 20, like, you know, like
Yeah.
all these entrepreneurs who really
Making it
become
really
a
early.
millionaire
Yep.
when they're like 20.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of names out there who's like already making so much money. What?
So I did not know that Nick had boost juice.
Oh.
He
What's
just
going on just
he
now?
just summoned it. Where's ours, bro? Can you summon some for us?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Where did I get this thinking from? I actually don't know. Like from a young, like from when I was like early, like teens, I had like a very, very high expectation on myself. So like, I don't know who my, I guess like inspiration was, but I had very, very high expectations of where I had to be at a very certain age. So I literally started working as soon as I could, the legal starting age of working. And then I started building the business that I have now when I was 16. So I've been building it since I was early teens. And I had such a strong image of, and I still have such a strong image of where I'm going to be when I'm 30. Like in my brain, when I'm 30, that's my prime. My 30s, I'm going to be hot. Like
we agree.
Yeah.
We agree with something
agree.
here. I mean,
Yeah.
I also think I'm gonna be
Yeah.
very hot.
Same.
Like,
Same.
my 30s, absolute
real though.
hottie.
Yeah.
Absolute hottie walking the streets of Perth. Anyway,
Nick too. Hey, we're not gonna forget about you, Nick. You're gonna be hot as well, bro.
Bro, I feel like I have the most different expectation of 30s.
Really?
For me,
I
it's
look
like
forward
singlet, beer, watching
Yuck,
football, at
man.
home, holding the baby on one side. I'm good. That's it. That's
What
my
baby?
30s.
Baby. Baby.
Wow, you know.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
You know,
I didn't know
like,
that. Did
dude,
you
Hold on
know
a
that?
second.
like not when I'm at 30, like, but third.
The 30s.
Yeah, like
It's getting
I
hot.
feel like what?
Yeah, it's get a bit warm.
Yeah, I feel like my prime has already passed. Like I'm going downhill now already.
Nah, man.
You know, like that's
Mentality,
That's a
bro.
mentality.
well, that is my mentality.
But, I
and
mean,
it's going
like-
downhill from here.
I disagree with that because I feel like you're always adding more value to yourself.
Correct.
'Cause, you know, like, okay, we're getting
Closer
real
to
deep
death,
now,
man.
but like Nick today,
Mm.
from Nick 5 years ago, is a completely different Nick. Yeah, sure, he was a different Nick. He was more involved in
Confident.
his hockey and like
Energy.
confident, all that. You know, he was achieving things and stuff like that. But emotionally and like in terms of authenticity, you've matured, right?
Absolutely.
So you're.
Yeah.
I feel like the best of us to come is not yet because we're just improving ourselves, understanding ourselves better. You know, that's like another thing. But
That is
apart from
true.
your outward appearance, I feel like the insides also change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what I'm looking forward to in my 30s. Like, I'm going to know myself so well. You know, I'm going to know how to do this and that well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add, what's so funny?
That was so funny.
Guys, I'm trying to have a deep heart-to-heart moment, man. Only young ones on the same page with me right now.
That
Come on,
comment just
man.
now, that's like, I don't,
Nah,
I
he
don't
doesn't
know.
roll with this nice stuff,
Like,
but
a
it's
little
alright.
bit
It's
tired.
alright.
It gets a bit
Getting a little bit
squeamish.
tired.
But anyways, my point without dragging further is I think that, yeah, I always think I'm just going to keep getting better. That's
Yeah.
just, what? And Dinda doesn't, oh, come on now.
No, sorry,
Come
sorry.
on now.
No, I was just like recalling Nick's expression just now. He was blinking like trying to stay awake, and I'm like, "What's
Come on,
wrong
man.
with you?"
Actually,
But anyways,
God.
that's my point. But
I like.
Sorry,
I
I
drink
didn't
tea
even
now.
answer your question.
tea's good though. I mean, look, think about it
Tea's
this
nice.
way, Nick. You're doing all these things now, so future Nick can be like, "Thank you, younger Nick," because now I don't have to live with those like problems in my body because I'm looking after myself now.
That is true.
Amen.
But present Nick is not happy with past Nick.
I honestly think from the moment we started dating to
Whoa,
now, 2
we're
years
dating?
later,
Whoa.
What do you want?
Whoa.
What do you
Whoa.
want? Are you trying to pick a fight?
Big news.
Not on camera,
Okay.
guys.
Not on camera.
Not on camera. Okay. Anyway, from the moment we started dating to now, you have changed a lot.
You have.
And I feel like even Jara knows that. Like,
Oh,
Jara
facts.
saw that. Like,
Of
Jara
course,
saw that.
But I've seen you since you had metrosexual hair, bro.
That is true.
To a mullet
Emo times.
and back to your normal haircut.
No, it's actually till I was bald and
oh,
then I had my mum.
correct. Okay, fair enough. Touche.
Nick was bald.
Well, I mean, he had a buzz cut
I
like
know.
once in his life. Okay, well, I mean, besides the times where he was younger, probably more.
I mean, when I was a baby, I was bald.
Facts.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
I mean,
were a really bold baby.
yeah, like Nick now is a different Nick, and that's why I'm saying what I was saying before, because I feel like you think this. I mean, you know for yourself, you know. I feel like you do. So I think as the years come by, you're just gonna get better. Like fine wine, bro.
Yeah,
Fine wine.
agreed. Yohan had a question earlier.
Yes.
Do you know?
You said, "Oh, I have a question," but then like we all cut off each other.
Did we? Oh, no. I said I didn't even answer your question.
Back to year one, guys.
What was the question?
I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How about okay? So because you said you jumped to
Yeah.
30, you're like I'm gonna be hot, this and
Yeah.
that, right? So do you agree with us on that term, in a sense that like your 20s is still like searching yourself, or like do you know what I mean? Like what do you still think
yeah,
your
yeah,
20s
yeah.
is gonna
Okay.
be for?
I feel like the difference that like I think I have is like I don't know how to say this, but like it's been a while since I've been very, very content with who I am. Like it's
That's a big
like,
one.
It's a big one. Like I think like even just in my job, in my family, like okay, maybe not like I'm working on my family one. Even here at church life, like everything, I'm like very, very content. Like to the extent I would be absolutely happy doing my job until the rest of my life, because that is how much I enjoy it.
That's cool, man.
Like I am so content just doing this, or like just building this for the rest of my life, because I'm so content doing it. And
Wow.
I think it's actually because, and this might sound a bit dark, I remember having this conversation with you, kind of freaked you out.
yeah, go on.
It's the death conversation.
go.
Yeah, it kind of freaked him out.
yeah.
I don't know why. Like when I was a kid, I okay, maybe it's because I had a era of very, very serious mental health. Like
Trauma.
so bit of trauma,
Yeah.
sprinkled here and there. Death was a very near topic in my head. So it wasn't something that was so far away for me.
Yeah.
Like it was something that could just happen like that.
Yeah.
And so after I got out of that, I was like, dang, like even like let's say tomorrow, God forbid, I go.
Touch
I'm
wood,
pretty
man. Touch
okay.
wood.
Yeah, like
There you
touch
go.
wood, but like
I mean, we don't believe in superstition,
did
but
you do that?
like touch wood, but
Okay.
but like I don't know, like I think I've just lived in a way that like I'm actually pretty content just going home to see Jesus tomorrow. Like I feel like I don't know,
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of things. I haven't done the traveling that I want to do. I haven't gotten married. I haven't had kids. Although that's all things I want to do, but I don't know. I'm like I'm just content with like kind of what I have.
that's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't say a lot of 22-year-olds would say what you're saying right
Yeah,
now. I feel like it's
agreed.
very
I don't know.
you're a rare one, I would say, because
Mm.
I was not even thinking that when I was your age, bro. I was so scared to die. And I'm like I'm on better terms with that. I'm on better terms with that. But I I don't. Maybe it's because you've achieved things early on in your life, and you feel like you've done the things you've done, and like it's not gonna look any different from now on.
but see, I don't think I've actually achieved a lot. I just genuinely think I've just met very good people. Like I genuinely think like my mindset now is the product of like meeting you guys, with meeting like mentors, with meeting good people in my life that
Right.
have like been such a good influence on me, that
Yeah.
I've skipped a lot of like I don't want to call it bad phases, because I feel like everyone has a bad phase for a good reason. But
Yeah.
I've skipped a lot of phases where a lot of people have been lost and, all
Yeah.
this. And I've
Right.
jumped right here because I've had such good people in my life, like good voices in my life telling me,
Yeah.
try this,
And
try
they're
this.
a little
and
bit
go
ahead
this.
in terms
Yeah.
of the race as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Like,
I guess that helps, right? That
yeah.
helps.
Like our friend group, like the oldest guy I'm 10 years apart.
Wow.
In like Joven
You
is
know-
10 years
you
older than
just-
me.
What, you just said his name.
Whoa.
But he's been on podcast.
I mean,
He's
yeah,
fine.
I
No
know,
one
but
knows
you
it.
just said like this person. And then
Whoa, come
you
on,
just say his
bruh.
name.
Sorry, okay,
I
you
thought
can
you
bleep
weren't
it out.
gonna say that.
You
Nah,
can bleep
I
it out
won't.
if you want.
I won't. We'll leave
Naive,
it in.
bruh.
Keep it organic. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
but there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
Like
there
he's,
isn't. No,
he's
there's
so
nothing.
successful.
What if he's
beautiful
not
wife, beautiful kid.
comfortable with his age being set out like that, bro?
I don't
I'm
think
pretty
he's
sure
ever
about that.
really
I don't think
commented
he
on
would
his
bother.
age before. I think he's
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah.
He's alright. He'll be right.
When Nick turns 30, he's gonna be like, oh, pushing 40 now.
I know. We're getting sick of it, is what
Wait.
we're trying to say.
No, it's fine. When I hit 30, I'm not going to talk anymore because it's just down. It's down bad.
Come on, man.
It's down bad. I'm really going to have back problems and kneecap
Hey,
problems.
man, you're
bro.
going to that miracle lady. She'll fix you up,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that is true.
Hey,
Ain't
I
gonna fix
rebuke
my
that
knees,
disbelief
though.
in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 Can you pray for me getting rich as well? No? Okay, all right. Anyways, moving
I'll
on.
take that offline.
I do have a question for you, one though.
Mm.
Because you said earlier, like you have this goal, or like just you
Mm.
expect so much things
Yeah.
for like the future you.
Mm.
Like, how has it changed now? Like, what kind of things that you? Because now you're still 23. Like, how do
Mm.
you?
She's not
Like-
even 23.
Not even 23
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
A few months away.
Yeah. I'm
But
getting
like,
there.
how do you see
Yeah.
your like mid-20s now? And do you think like,
Mm.
do you think you'll have to go through that quarter life crisis, or like you think like, oh, I think I've been through that too early now? Like,
To be honest, I feel like I had my quarter life crisis 2 years ago. I
mm,
freaked out. I think, no, not even 2 years ago. I think it was 21, 22. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I so behind? I was like, what am I doing? What is the rest of my life going to be? Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to spend? Like, I just had a crisis and I just shut down, and I had a bit of a mentee B, and then I just, I got myself back up. But I think the difference between what I envisioned my mid-20s to be from when I was 18 to now is when I was 18, I was like, I am going to be literally so wealthy. I want to be, I want to dress a certain way. I want to act a certain way. I want to be knowledgeable in certain things. I want to have traveled here. Like, I think there was so many like monetary and materialistic goals that I had in mind. And as like, I still have those goals, like, but it's not anywhere near like what I wanted it to be. Like,
Yeah.
I think along the way I have learned like the way that you make money is also the way, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the way that you make money is so important, because when you get there, like let's say you get there, like you have the money, what kind of person do you want to be when you get to that level?
yeah.
Like, that is the part that I'm concentrating on now as a 22-year-old looking into my mid 20s. Like I've been talking about this with you guys. I think like and the question was, if somebody handed you $3 million, what would you do?
yeah.
And I like, this sounds so crazy to me even, but I don't think I would take it. Like, I don't think I would take it because I feel like there is so much progression in making that. Like, he's so stressed.
disappointment on
He's so
his face.
stressed. He's so stressed.
No,
But,
I'll
like-
say I'll take your share then. Yeah.
But I don't know, like, when I get there, I want to make sure that my character, my
Yeah.
everything matches up with this person
Yeah.
that is here, because I would be so disappointed if I got there and I missed out on everything else, like missed out the inside part, the good part.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I guess, I guess I can relate to that in terms of like what we're doing now. It's like, if we had that overnight blow up, right? We're not going to appreciate the journey of getting there. Like, kind
Exactly,
of like that
yeah.
TikTok reel that you showed me the other day,
Mm.
ages ago. But yeah, I get that. But to be honest with you, I would take that $3 million. But I'll put it
It's
somewhere
okay, you can
else.
take it.
I'll invest it into something, and
Yeah.
like give
Yeah.
double, Like I
Yeah.
won't be that servant that buries it in the ground. Give back, give double, You know that parable where like the
Yeah.
master gave the servants all like this amount, and then-
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, okay, that's interesting, man. Like, yeah, one never ceases to amaze me in terms of the way she thinks. It's crazy, bro. I think it just goes to credit to like your life experiences as well and all that, your expectations on yourself. It's funny because you're quite a spontaneous person, but
That is
all that
true.
things you listed out sound like
Yeah.
you planned that, like it was meticulous. It's like this, that, exactly this. This is how I'm gonna look like. It's
Yeah.
crazy, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. Nick, you've been awfully quiet. What are your thoughts, man, on
I'm just like, bro, we're such different people.
We're
You
very
care about
different
this.
people.
I just want to get rich quick, sit down, do nothing. You know, like enjoy
Retire
life.
young.
Retire,
The
I would
enjoyment,
say.
the enjoyment comes after when I get to do what I want. You know what I mean?
And see, so that's different.
That's why
'cause
we're so different.
I would say, even when I was young, I want to work until I'm 80.
Oh my
I want to work
God.
until
I mean, okay,
literally
if
I'm
I
you're
want to work till I'm
enjoying what you're
30.
doing,
Okay.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
fair
Yeah.
enough. But
I mean, yeah. Like, I don't know. I think maybe I just grew up very, very privileged as to every single job I've had, I've wanted to do that job. Like, I've loved every single minute of that
Wow.
job.
Wow.
Like, maybe that's just
That is a
privilege.
privilege.
That
It is
yeah.
privilege. Like,
Yeah.
there are times I forget it because that's just
Yeah.
what I've been used to. But
Yeah.
like, that's genuinely why I say I want to work till I'm 80. Like,
Wow.
I don't want to sit at home doing nothing. What am I going to do? What am I going to
Dude,
What am I
there's
going to
so
do?
many streaming platforms watch so many shows now. Crazy. Games are advancing. It's actually crazy. Football can buy season ticket. Imagine
I'm
watching
confused.
football every week.
How we get here?
No, she says she wants to
'Cause
keep
she's
working,
like-
but I was like,
Oh.
there's so many things to do, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, realistically, let's say somebody gave us all $10 million,
Oh,
but
damn,
you
I'm
can't
taking
work.
it. I'm okay.
What are you gonna do at
Hang out
home?
with friends, bro.
Well, I mean, I've got this.
What, we're gonna hang out with each other every day?
I want to build
We
school.
already do that.
Yeah, you don't have to wait. Just go build school. Go build stuff.
Actually wanna
Go
build. Yeah.
yeah, go do stuff, bro.
Now you can take that money back to Jakarta and make a difference, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
but you can't
But
work
that's still
though.
working.
No, it's not.
It's not really work.
you're
But you make the
But
building
money
then-
work
place.
for you.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
If you're already that rich, it's not really work. It's just like you're already into that like self-actualization hierarchy
Yeah,
like
yeah.
stage. When you just do things not because for the like money, it's because you can.
Yeah,
You have the money.
yeah, exactly,
You know what I
right?
Because you can, yeah.
Because you can. But yeah, but I know.
Yeah.
While you guys are all talking, I was just thinking about, like, damn, I wish that I actually did things when I was younger that I could carry on into my late life, which is now. Like all the things that I've done when I was younger, right? Like playing games. If only I just invested into, like, let's say if I played games like to a level where I can compete and make money from it, you know, instead of just casually, then it's just a waste of time. Same with like the sport I play, right? I play floorball, like indoor hockey. That's not going to get me anywhere. And then same with, okay, this is a very grim view of like ministry, but I'm like, I lost a lot of money and time.
You mean
didn't get me
gave a lot
anywhere.
of money and time?
Yeah, but it didn't get me anywhere. And I don't
Really?
but like as in like, you know, to carry me on now, like because
You mean like
sometimes
financially?
yeah, financially or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
connections or anything. Like I feel like
Mm.
all of that was because I wanted to do it at the time,
Mm.
which is feels good, it's nice, you got to help people here and there. But then looking at it now, it's like, man, I really didn't do anything. Because like you said, the pressure, well, not pressure, when you see people like get rich before they're 20, do crazy things. I'm like, I think that if all my time and energy was put into something that could last me longer, maybe it'd been all right. Because now I look back at my last 7 years of being in the 20s and be like, was it worth it?
Mm.
Where I'm honestly at, I don't know. Because I'm like, damn, what
Can
do
I
I
chip
have?
in something though? I feel like if you
So you put your hand- yeah.
F5.
okay,
F5.
I feel like if you had that life, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. 100%.
You
Like
might-
not
yeah,
even
you
close.
two might not even meet each other. Bro.
Like,
yeah, but the
I
thing is that,
definitely
like,
would
but,
not have
but
met
that
you.
will always be the case. You can say for anything, right?
yeah,
like,
yeah,
So-
you won't be.
facts.
So
This,
the question
yeah.
is, would you actually trade your life now to be the person that you were 7 years ago to have that lifestyle?
But the things that I don't know how that would have got me to be now. Like, it's not a really fair thing to be because I may be a better man now. I would never know. I could be worse. I would never know.
It sounds like that film, Tinder. Everywhere, where everything,
Everything,
all at
everywhere,
once.
yeah.
That's what it sounds
You know,
like.
because
yeah.
I was like, everybody who knows me knows how obsessed I am with either like movies and like making not making movies
Production?
but like understanding movies, you know, all
Oh.
that critique whatever, but
Yeah,
also
he's
like
such a movie
but also,
nut.
yeah, but also like football, right?
Oh.
And it's like the level of obsession that I have with football is like, why didn't I do anything like even like player, like to even try become a football player? I picked a completely different sport,
Right.
partially because I'm allergic to grass, but like I got
And
that.
you don't really like the sun.
Yeah, well, football plays under the lights, you know, so it's good. But anyways, it's different. But then like I was like, why didn't I try to do anything of that when I was so obsessed with it? Rather I did all these things that didn't carry on. into this, you know, because now I'm like, wow, in a place that I'm so committed to what I feel like I want to do.
Mm.
But partially of me is like, okay, if it's definitely too late for me to be a professional football player,
Mm.
then the only thing I can think forward now, I love coaching. I love mentoring. Should I get into coaching, right? Like that kind of stuff, to be involved in things that I want to be now that may carry me on further, that may actually add value. But then, yeah, that's where I'm stuck at, because I'm trying to think like, is it wrong to think like that? Because I know that when we look at all these business gurus or whatever, they always say, don't waste time with things that don't add any monetary value or things. You can make money even when you're resting or chilling. But then I was like, you know, that's not really the right way to think, because the world doesn't revolve around money. But it kind of does. Because you need that to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where my mind was stuck at while you guys were talking. I'm like, I don't know. I don't actually know. Now that I'm very close to 30, it's like,
I understand where you're coming from, though.
yeah.
Because it's also
Is it worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I have like that one hobby that I really like committed and like went through
Same.
like all the way up until
But
now.
I get it, right? Because when you were in that time, you wouldn't think like that unless, you know, someone
because I think
made
it was
you
just
think
like
that.
I think we were also in a stage of like, oh, life is so much more than school. You know what I mean? Like, we were just like these babies that feel like, oh, like I want to do that, like football and all that. Like, we were just in that stage of like want to experience life in its own. Like, but one of the things that come in mind when you were talking was like, but then again, like characters and like all these, you know, like you're growing in terms of characters. I feel like there's no price tag on it.
Absolutely not.
Like,
But you can't necessarily say that you won't gain those things in your other journey as well.
It'll just be later.
Yeah,
correct.
but you never know,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
we can't compare, because we would never know how that would actually turn out. We can only have now to look at, you know?
I guess.
So yeah, that's just my thought. I don't know whether I ruined the vibe a little bit.
No,
but
I
that's
mean,
just
I think that
generally
just,
my
That's like-
thoughts in
feel like-
terms of, yeah.
I feel like it just kind of adds to the whole point of like your 20s. You still feel lost. You still don't know. You
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
back on your early 20s, like, did I do the right thing? And then you're trying to figure out how you're going to go about yourself in the 30s. You know, so it's like I think that just pretty much adds to what we've been talking about this entire time. So that's okay. I mean, it's hard. You know, you go through and you battle these thoughts all the time. It's like, but I always try to tell myself, man, like, just do what you can now, because, you know.
Yeah. And every time I feel like I meet my like friends or people who are in their 30s, they also look at me and like, you still have a lot of time. Even when I'm like, bruh, I'm going 28 like next year or like this year. But they're always like, nah, like you're still very young. And I think that goes back again. So I think it's also important to, you know, be like reflective once in a while. I feel like it's good. I feel like we're all kind of like reflective
Do a
people.
check-in.
Oh,
yeah.
But at the same time, like, we also have to know the truth that, you know, like there are these lies that we need to fight.
Put
Like,
away.
yeah, like for me, like, I mean, I also kind of fall into that kind of like, oh, did I actually waste? Although like I did all of those things, but like I wish, you know, I stayed true in, I don't know, like photography or things like that, that I can actually like make, because building brands and all that take time, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, oh, if I actually like committed, now I would already have like this, and this. But then it's just gonna make you feel small, and like it kind of like mess with your self-esteem. So I feel
Absolutely.
like that's the thought that I try to like leave behind. Like, but I mean, we can acknowledge the battle, but it doesn't mean that we have to entertain those thoughts all the time.
For sure.
Yeah. Because then that's when I feel like you feeling stuck and you just don't go anywhere, because you just always feel like, oh, what could I've done better and all that.
Yeah.
Or like, what ifs. You
For
know,
sure.
The what
Yeah.
ifs.
Yeah.
Here's my 2 cents on that, right? I think as someone that has done my hobby for the last 16 years, like violin, that's because I was made to do that, right? Like my mum like literally sat me down, made me practice every day. And that's why I can do what I do now. But she used to say this one thing, and I literally apply it to like everything that I do. It doesn't matter if what you start doesn't amount anywhere. It's every experience that you have always adds on to you. It doesn't matter in what way, but it will always add on to you. Like there is no wasting of time. Like she always says like, okay, the argument that we're having now is like the whole uni thing, right? And I feel like there's actually no point in me going to uni right now, because I'm very, very set and like very established in like what I want to do and everything. but she just says, go to uni. Like, even if you waste your time, it's all added on to you. And I was like, that's a very hefty price to pay for it,
Yeah.
But I still believe in that concept of everything that you do, every person that you meet adds on to you. Like, it
I do
cannot
agree.
subtract. Like,
yeah,
genuinely cannot
100%.
subtract.
It's like every interaction, every choice made led you to where you are today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Mm.
yeah. That's cool, man. Oh,
Mm.
I had another
And-
thought, but you go first.
Oh, okay.
Because I forgot it, so that's why it's good.
Oh,
You talk and
okay.
I'll try to remember it.
And I think
Okay.
like one of the things that I also look back in my like 20s was like do things with what do you call that, like
Boldness.
excellence, yeah, and just like
Mm.
because I think
Excellence,
like sometimes
okay.
it's very easy to like as long as we do it then it's fine, like as long as like especially nowadays with I think there's this movement of like, you know what, just do the bare minimum, and if they don't pay you as much then just don't do it, like
Oh
there's
my
this like
God. Yeah.
which is like
Yeah.
I understand,
Mm.
but sometimes I feel like when I look back, dude, I do overtime like a lot of times, and I'm not trying to
Mm.
advocate overtime and like the unhealthy
No.
culture of like
Yeah.
hustle culture, because I'm also not into like the hustle culture that makes you unhealthy.
Mm.
But there's also a difference when you just keep on sowing and not really expecting the reward or like the outcome right away in that
Mm.
time. But I believe and I see how like, you know what, in those days where I feel like, what am I doing? And I worked so hard, but I just felt so unseen or unappreciated in
Yeah.
my work or like whatever that I was doing. But God sees all of that. And I feel like all the miracles that I've experienced and all the open doors were really because of like, yes, God's favor, but also like God was saying like, I got you. Like,
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
see that. Like, I see your heart. And like, even though there were times that, you know what, it's so easy to not, I think being complacent is also one of the things that I try to not do. Like, because then it's always like, there's always like people who like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what do you do? Like working so late, or like, why do you give
Yeah.
110% all the time and all that? Yeah, but I can say that doing things with, intention and excellence, and just have that heart of like, you know what, in our 20s, we're still being molded in a lot of ways, not just
Yeah.
like character, but also like soft skills, in like professional settings. So it's actually for me like I'm glad that I was in an environment where people give feedbacks to me
Yeah.
without like without like this condescending vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are always going to be people who like be condescending. I guess like people are not perfect, right? But I guess one of the things that I am really grateful for is like the environment that makes me really wanna learn, and people that remind me like, you know what, just be hungry, just be
Yeah.
humble enough to learn these things, even though it's not something that you're comfortable at, or like it's not your strength, but you'll never know where it leads you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think nowadays it's just so easy to want to do things because I'm good at it, and that's it. But
Yeah.
if we actually just expand our horizon, or like just expand like that experience, and just have that intention of you actually want to learn something, it can get it. Yeah, it can like
It will add
Yeah.
on to you at one point. Yeah.
Wow, thanks for the sermon. Dinda.
Dang.
Yeah.
Preach
wow.
it. Amen.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Did you remember your thing?
No, I didn't.
Really?
No, I was
Okay.
just trying to understand, like, just focus on what she was saying just then. I was like, whoa, okay,
That's
there's a
okay.
lot going on.
Well,
it's
it's
that
been
old age, man. No, it's not. It's a mindset. No, I'm talking about myself. But yeah. Oh man, I feel like I don't know. I think that's all I have to say about it. To be honest, I feel like covered a lot of ground over here. I mean, is there any pointers that you have left? Yeah, one like anything that
not
help what you're feeling?
pointers, but I want to say one thing to all three of you guys. And okay,
That's me too.
it's
Me too.
yeah, that's all three of you. And don't look at me because it's sweet, and I don't want you guys to make eye contact with
Okay,
me.
fine. I'll look away.
Thank you.
I'll actually laugh if I look at him.
Yeah, don't look at Nico.
Okay, so I know you guys feel like in ministry, or like I know that, or even though you guys love ministry so much, there will be times, and there are times that you guys think, oh, damn, this is such a waste of my time because I can be doing something so much more. Like I'm almost hitting 30 and I'm still doing this. But I just want to reassure you guys, like me at 22, I hope to be what you guys are at your age. I hope to be serving the Lord like you guys do at 28, at 27. Like I hope to be doing what you guys do. Stop acting like that. You go like that when I'm saying sweet things because you can't take it. Anyway, like I genuinely hope that my life and that our like youth kids, I hope at 28 they're serving as much as you guys. Like I hope I'm serving as much as you guys. Like I look up to you guys in that aspect because you guys give so much. Like I don't want you guys to ever think like I'm wasting my time, because people do see like your effort. It's not just Jesus, it's not just God. Like I see it, and I hope to be that one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was
Thank
touched by
you.
that.
Nick, any comments?
Cool. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys listening on our deep chats.
Wait, are you actually closing the show?
Why not?
Wait, I just want to add some points
So
though, real
terrible.
quick. I think out of our conversation, right? I think some things I took note of, like what some of the things that Nick was saying, and not just specifically Nick, but I think all of us fall in that mindset that we say, oh, we've done this, and we, like we get what's the word, like this mentality, right? We talk about it as a mentality, like oh, I wasted my 20s, blah blah blah. Just don't do that, man, because there's power in the word and there's power in the thought.
Absolutely,
right? And as soon as you fall into into that
Yeah.
trap, it really is downhill from there. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So I'm
The
not
moment you
trying
believe
to like diss you, Nick, but I'm just saying like
Low key.
no, I'm not. No.
It's high key.
We're
Not-
mates. We're mates. You know, it's just I just feel that it's really a mentality. I think once I got over that, and also just hearing you talk as well. Yeah, when I want to bring up this point, which I think is important, is there's a sense of gratitude in your voice. I feel like gratitude plays a really important role
Yeah, for sure.
in that whole aspect of what we just talked about, because if you don't feel that gratitude towards certain things, then you will never see or be content with what you have.
Yeah.
You always look at
Genuinely,
what you
yeah.
can
Agreed.
do,
Yeah.
right?
Genuinely.
So I think I thought about that when you're talking, because I thought about it too. I was like, oh, like what's helping me now? And I'm also thinking about the people that I'm surrounded by now, and the community that I'm in, what I'm doing, and like looking back at what I was doing before. I'm actually really grateful for where I am today.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't exactly ideal,
How you
right?
planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good place to be. So I
Yeah.
think, be grateful for where you are and your
For sure,
experiences,
yeah.
because, I think that's really important. That really helps with the aging process. I mean, it is, right? Because like I don't want to make this all Bible, but like, that one, was it Leviticus? The one where it talked about like, oh, like life has no meaning, this and that. Like there's a book about like, it was like hella depressing. It was like, it's like, all we do is like toil in the sun and then we die.
Oh, yes.
Right? And then by the end of the book, he changed his mind. He's like, no. It's about enjoying every moment, enjoying your company, eating good food and all that, right? Do that.
It genuinely is.
Do that.
Like it genuinely is. Like my life highlights, like when I do these like weekly highlights, right? My highlight, no matter what event, no matter what I do, my highlight is literally just sitting down and eating with you guys.
Yeah. It's
Like,
always
that's
eating.
my
We're about to
highlight.
go eat after this.
Like I'm
actually.
looking forward to that so much.
I'm
I've been
very
looking forward to
hungry.
it for 3 days.
But facts though.
3 days.
But we are all very hungry. So Nick, go ahead and close the show.
Yeah, I also really need to pee. So
Do your thing,
give me
Nick.
a
Do your thing.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you made it to this point. I hope you stayed fresh while watching this, because
Come on.
I took pedal for this and I'm drowsy. But I hope you guys took something out of our old age and our fine wine talk, and our youthful year one. And I hope that you guys got something out of it. And I hope that you changed that mentality to be a positive one. So
on.
Nick is
instead
talking
of
to himself right now.
Yeah, preach it.
But don't forget to be nice to your friends. Stay fresh.
Stay fresh.
Stay fresh.
See ya.
Catch you guys next time.